Welcome to another live webinar with Greg Gillies. Greg, great to have you here, my man.
It's great to be here. Thanks for having me.
Dude, I've actually wanted to do this interview for months now, but I'm super pumped up to get stuck into it. Greg, whereabouts do you live, my man?
We live in Peregian Springs on the Sunshine Coast, so up close to Noosa. Beautiful, beautiful part of the world. We're very blessed, very, very lucky.
Dude, is it nice weather this time of the year?
It's actually really chilly. I actually have spoken to a couple of clients and friends who have come up from Sydney and said the mornings are a lot colder here than down there. So it's quite cold at the moment, but beautiful days, just fresh starts.
Dude, love a good fresh start, man. All right, so if you are watching this recording, make sure that you reach out to Greg or myself if you have any questions. And if you are watching this live, make sure you pop your questions in the chat. Super pumped today to be talking human evolution. Now, Greg, when I said, what would you like to talk about? You're like, human evolution. Dude, what gave you that quick response?
A number of reasons, right? So we all evolve by nature. We need to evolve, but the world is evolving. There is so much evolution happening, and a lot of it people will possibly see as negative change, but everything happens for a reason, right? Even some of the stuff that's happened around COVID, it's given the opportunity for Mother Nature to get a rest and for us to stop flogging the earth and for her to evolve and to heal and so forth. So I believe we are in a time in humanity where human evolution is critical for us to move to the next stage and the future of where we're going as a race, as human beings, right? Yeah. And it all starts with evolving as an individual so that you can create more of an impact with the people that you surround yourself with and create what I call that ripple effect, right? We all need to evolve to help other people move to the next stage of whatever their life is.
Dude, I love that. And as we were just saying before, I was saying I wanted to go to the next level in my business, and I had to look at the person in the mirror and say, what do I need to do to go to that next level, dude? So I think it's so important that we look into ourselves, like you were saying, dude.
Yeah, 100%. And it took me 20 years to realize that.
Dude, it's better late than never.
Yeah.
Watch this webinar closely, very closely, as we've got a nice picture of Greg here with his mouth open, ready to just unleash the dragon. You will learn just by watching Greg and I in action. Are you being the man you want to be, dude? Dude, how long have you been focused around men and helping them evolve?
So since about 2016, 2017, I started doing more in the life coaching space and working with men on themselves. But prior to that, I was doing a lot of digital marketing, business coaching, business consulting, and most of my clients, well, actually all of my clients were men. So it did evolve and it did transition around about 2016, 2017 because of my own personal story, my own kind of breakdown to breakthrough moment, and realizing what was truly important, and then bringing what I had to do for myself into the marketplace and sharing with other businessmen that were struggling and facing the same challenges as myself, that we can't build the business expecting all of the love and the happiness and the fulfillment to be there. We need to work on ourselves. We need to go inward to then produce more in the external world. Whereas most of us, most businessmen, we are brought up and programmed to just build the business, make the money, support everybody, and then everything will fall into place. And it doesn't happen that way. We think it's going to happen that way. And then a lot of people get the money and they're still unfulfilled, unhappy, unhealthy, and they feel a bit stuck. Yeah. So it's pretty much my journey that created that transition.
Dude, what made you go inward?
I had a breakdown. I burnt myself out. I came back from a big contract that I ran in Singapore that ended abruptly due to corporate changes out of the US. Kind of had to bring my young family back to Australia, and I had enough of corporate, started my own digital media business. And in that first year of business, everything that I ignored about myself, my bad drinking habits, my mental health, just everything just come crunching down, and I blew myself up mentally, physically, emotionally, and I had to sort myself out. I had to go on a healing journey, and that kind of was a new beginning for me.
Dude, I'm super excited to get into this, because everything you're talking about now is in the next slides. I'm just like nearly just clicking through to get to it, because I just want to get into the juicy parts, dude.
Yeah.
So let's get into it. Greg, I'm a big believer in making the physical body fitness is the foundation, and I think pillar 2 we've got here is the physical health. But dude, let's just touch on a little bit around 4 years ago, 40th birthday was the last time you drank alcohol. Why did you give up alcohol, dude?
That was part of my healing journey. So when I had my breakdown and burnout, I was using alcohol as an escape mechanism to just kind of find some sort of happiness, or to bury the pain and the anxiety and the mental health issues and the overwhelm. And I'd always had a bit of a love-hate relationship with alcohol. I was always a bit of a binge drinker. Even back in my rugby culture days, it was just train hard, drink hard, do everything hard. And it never really served me, but it was a really, really bad habit that I always turned to. And when I had my breakdown, alcohol was one of those things that drove me into a bad place. And I thought that if I just got rid of the alcohol out of my life, then everything would be perfect. And I stopped drinking, and I quit drinking alcohol on my 40th, and I started doing some deep healing work and some inner programming work and some energy work. And I realized that it wasn't the alcohol that was the problem. It was what I was using alcohol to avoid, which was the problem. So that was when I made the decision. Alcohol does not serve me. It has no more place in my life, but I have so much more work that I need to do. Yeah. It's just easier to do the work when you're not sedating or suppressing yourself with alcohol or drugs or whatever your addiction is. Yeah.
Yeah. Dude, I love that, man. And how has Tracy helped you on the journey, dude?
So Tracy's always been into holistic health, and she's always kind of looked at natural alternatives to her own health and so forth. Yep. Back in the day, before I started doing this work, she'd try and rope me in, and I was kind of open and interested, but it was more for her benefit, and I never took any of it seriously. I was just a typical alpha male, and it'll just be like, go to the gym, smash myself, do CrossFit, eat heaps of steak and drink beers and just soldier on. And I just ignored all that other stuff, and I used to just call it hippie shit. I was just like, oh, whatever, like talking about meditation or going vegan or any of that sort of stuff. It just wasn't in my belief systems. I was just old school Kiwi country boy, rugby, beers and steaks, right? And then in my healing journey, Tracy did a diploma in advanced kinesiology and opened me up to a whole new world. And she's carried on and done so much more stuff around soul realignment work, energy healing. She's created some really incredible gifts. And I've been very beneficial to have experienced it over the past 4 years, which has been one of the biggest reasons why I've had such a transformation in my life, is because Tracy works at an energetic level and at a spiritual and a soul level. And I was never into any of that stuff, right? I was just into get fit, listen to good, positive podcasts, and everything will be sweet. I never looked into my spirituality and the soul and really what energy and stuff meant. So combining all of that absolute life changing.
Dude, I love that, man. And now you're the power couple on LinkedIn.
Well, we just want to help people, and we both work together in our program. So yeah.
Dude, I love that. And also, mate, I think we were touching on this before, and I thought I'd put these both together. But this is, you know, for a man, this is what it looks like to focus on, you know, those three key pillars there. Do you want to talk a little bit about that?
Yeah. So we obviously have a one-to-one signature program that Tracy and I work with individual clients to help heal them mentally, physically, emotionally, spiritually, and all that sort of stuff. But I also developed a framework called the 9 Pillars of Success, Love, and Happiness. And this was to help men form new priorities, disciplines, and habits to live their life by. Because you can do a lot of healing, you can do a lot of personal development and all that sort of stuff. But if you don't have a framework to live your life by, you can easily fall back into old habits or lose that discipline or go on a bit of a binge fest with food or alcohol. So why I created this is because it was literally re-engineering my whole life. Now, we as men, and my target market predominantly has been businessmen and entrepreneurs and like really high achieving driven men. And we are all programmed. This is generational programming from years and years and years to be providers and protectors. So it becomes instinctively natural for us to put all of our energy, focus, and effort into business and finances and wanting to get ahead financially and set ourselves up. So our primary priorities and focus is typically around that business, finances, and just the success. And then we do some physical exercise, and we might do some meditation and do some personal development. And then whatever's left over, we give to our wife and our kids, and we feel guilty we're not spending more time with them. So it's really flipping the lid on our priorities. So it wasn't a change of time allocation, but it was more around happiness as an inside game. So many people are creating success and trying to make money, feeling like it will make them happy and fulfilled. And when they get the money, they're not any more happy or fulfilled. They've got more toys, they've got more materialistic, they've got a nicer home, and they're grateful and they're happy for it, but there's always something missing. So I help men prioritize themselves first. So pillar number 1 is mental health. We have to start by prioritizing mental health disciplines on a daily basis to make sure we're looking after our mind. Then second is physical health. We need to look after our physical health because the mind and body are connected through the central nervous system, and one can throw the other one out. If you're unhealthy physically, it can throw you out mentally. If you're unhealthy mentally, it puts too much deep survival stress on the body. And then spiritual health is really, really, really important. And this is an area that I've really dove into big time in the last 4 years, because we are multidimensional beings. We are mind, body, and spirit, mind, body, and soul. So we actually need to be working on all those 3 areas to feel fulfilled and whole and present and connected and content. And for men, we actually need to learn how to love and respect ourselves, because we typically abuse and push ourselves like I used to. So the happiness comes from the inside game, and then you bring your best version of yourself to your love pillars, which is your wife or your love partner, your family, your children, your friends, and your interests. And then when you've got your happiness and your love fulfilled, you will be an absolute rock star in your business. You will make more money than you can ever imagine, because you're not focusing and hustling and grinding to work ridiculous hours to make money. When you focus on your happiness and your love and you balance your whole life out, business becomes really easy because you show up as a different version of yourself. And when I help men prioritize their life like this, everything gets better. They become happier. They have better relationships, a better marriage. They're more present for their kids. They don't feel guilty when they're not working all the time. And it's just a framework that I live my life by and help other men do the same.
Dude, it's absolute gold, dude. And let's talk about some of the results that you've been getting with some of your clients, dude. I love this. When I come across this, I was like, I feel so healthy and happy, mate. Like that's how every human should be. We should
Yeah.
feel that every day. Like, so dude, tell us about some of the results that you're getting people.
So all of our clients get results based on where they're at and what they need. But ultimately, when our initial program is a healing and alignment program, and it's about healing all levels of ourselves. So I do deep unconscious reprogramming and inner child work and relationship work and helping people let go of limiting beliefs and conditions and all that sort of stuff that is causing us the stress, the frustration, and the pain. So when they release that from their mind, they have a different view on things. They approach things differently. They've got a calmer mind. They're not overthinking and always stressed. And when they're not constantly in that kind of egoic, analytical mind, it calms their nervous system down, and then Tracy can work on healing the energy in their body and balancing out their glands and organs and their digestive system and their autonomic nervous system and get them out of deep survival stress. So when clients heal and balance and release blocks and restrictions from their mind and body, and they're calmer and they're happier and they just view things differently, then they will exercise better, they'll eat healthier, they'll hydrate better, and everything just becomes natural to them. And they start looking after themselves because they're not living in that constant survival state, that constant survival stress, which makes you just crave crap food and feel unmotivated and low energy. So when we help them do that, it's kind of like they've had this kind of awakening moment where it's not a knowledge-based thing. It's not that they had a lack of information. Like they knew what they needed to do. They just weren't doing it, and they just felt stuck, and they just felt stressed and overwhelmed, and their mind was just always running away on them. So most clients that come to us, they know that they have so much more potential, but they just feel stuck. They might be going to the gym, they might be eating clean, but they also might be in a deep state of survival stress that their body can't even metabolize the nutrients in the food properly. So they're still carrying heaps of inflammation and weight, and they feel gross and they've got low energy. So we do the healing and alignment so that they can then take action on all the stuff they know they need to be doing, but their mind and body will respond to it. And then they just come out the other end of our program just like feeling brand new. They just think, oh my God, that was amazing. And then they can continue on a positive trajectory.
Dude, absolute gold, my man. Dude, love this photo. This is about having a fun, fulfilling, and great life experience with the fam, having some sushi. How good sushi train, bro?
That's our favorite family food, is going out for sushi. I used to say that I put my family first, but my actions didn't match it.
Yeah.
And I would just never stop thinking about business, money, finances, and all that sort of stuff. And I used to always just justify it and tell them that I'm so busy and I'm doing it for them and I'm supporting them and all that sort of stuff. But man, your kids don't give a crap about money. They want your time. And I did lose a lot of those early years through not giving my kids any quality time and being truly present and being emotionally available for them, is because I was just constantly stuck up here about what's next, what have I got to achieve, what am I trying to do, more money, da da da. And it was quite neurotic, but I couldn't even see myself because I was just doing what my mind was programmed to do, which so many people are.
Yeah.
So now that I have more of a balanced life and I allocate more time and I'm emotionally available for my family and my children, I feel a million times better, because that's really what we're working for, right? Is to have a great life and have the love.
Dude, when when we first had Charlie, I started to go through the exact same sort of mindset, where I could see myself kind of falling back into those habits of work and, working longer and, and then like saying I'll be there in a minute, but I wasn't. And like my wife, she's, I think we've worked together over the years on the relationship for her to sort of, become the person that she needs to be as well. And she was just like, Adrian, you've got this time. She would come and grab my computer, boom, shut down, and like, let's go and be present. And dude, it's been a game changer in life, man. Especially only young, you know, your kids are a lot older, so they're aware of everything that you do.
Oh yeah, and they mirror back to you your bad behaviors. So you, the ultimate mirror is your children, and if they act a certain way and you can see yourself, it's like, oh my god.
Yeah, dude. Healthy Habits Lifestyle Guide. So I don't know if you know, Greg, a few years ago, I surveyed, and you can imagine I did this too, over 5,000 people on LinkedIn in the DMs, and asked them what was most important to them when it comes to their health and wellness and fitness, and basically put together the all-in-one solution. And there we go. It's the Healthy Habits Guide, very actionable content. So if you'd like a copy of that, send me a message on LinkedIn, and I'll be happy to send that over to you. Now, Greg, let's get into it, dude. For everyone who doesn't know you, who is Greg Gillies and why are you so awesome, my man?
Who am I? So I'm a husband, I'm a father, I'm an entrepreneur, I'm a businessman, and I've just always wanted to be, I guess, great. I always thought that I had great ability. I knew that I was meant to do more with my life. I just didn't know what it was. And I just followed the traditional path of just work hard, become successful, and so forth. Yeah. And it's interesting. A lot of people, especially in the personal development world, will say their journey is their story. And that's definitely been mine. So I had absolutely zero intention on becoming a life coach or a kind of a healer and doing the work that I'm doing now, because I was always caught up and too worried about my own crap. So yeah, it's been life-changing. It's been a complete 180 on what I was doing 5 years ago to what I'm doing now, but I've found my passion and purpose, and that is definitely helping people really become the best version of themselves and access their unlimited potential. So that's kind of who I am, and who knows where the next 3, 5, 10 years will go, because Tracy and I will just continue to evolve and evolve and evolve and help more and more people do the same.
Dude, I love that, man. What got you into the health and wellness industry? Where did it all start?
Funnily enough, I became a personal trainer for a year when I was in my probably late 20s. Yep. I was in the insurance industry. I hated it. I tried to escape. I went in to get out of it. So I went and become a personal trainer for Les Mills Fitness in New Zealand. And I did that for about 9 months, and then I blew my shoulder to bits playing rugby, and I couldn't work, and I lost my clientele, and I had to go back and get a job. So I've always been a really good rugby player, and always into my health and fitness from that perspective. Yep. And then getting into personal training, I thought that would be kind of my journey, but it didn't happen that way. And then I kind of continued in insurance, then I went into digital media, and then it kind of evolved into business coaching, consulting, which is now merged into holistic life coaching, life transformation work. So it's been a bit of a journey, but I've always been open and interested in health and fitness and that sort of stuff.
Greg, what is the main goal that you help men with?
It's cliche to say I help them become the best version of themselves, but that is ultimately what we do, right?
Yeah.
That's why Tracy and I work together inside this program, because it's not one-dimensional, and humans aren't one-dimensional. So you'll know, even being a personal trainer, that you can only get your physical health to a level based on where your mental health is at, and vice versa. Like if you've got limiting beliefs about your worthiness and all that sort of stuff, then you're going to struggle to get that ultimate body, because they coincide. We are mind body, but we are also mind, body, spirit, and soul, and we are energetic beings. So we work with a client holistically, and we literally unpack everything that has created their identity to now. And we help release and let go of blocks and restrictions mentally, physically, emotionally, energetically, and spiritually. And then we help them re-identify with their greater self, so that they can go and create so much more change in their life and their family's life and relationships, and just live really abundant, happy, and fulfilled, which is ultimately what everybody wants.
Yeah.
But we typically chase one area to try and get it all. And for me and for my target market, we chase business and money, expecting that everything else will be there when we make it, and it's not.
Yeah. Dude, what are some of the main challenges you find with men when it comes to their health and wellness?
Main challenges.
What are some of the challenges that they have?
I think a lot of men will have some sort of addiction or extremely bad habit that is a very negative habit that keeps them in a bit of a negative cycle. So mine was alcohol. Some people might be drugs. Some might be gambling or porn, or this one now, social media. Like,
yeah,
just call it escapism, right? They will just use something to escape themselves, because they don't know how to face themselves. And when they do, they see the pain that they want to avoid, so then they go back to the escapism to avoid the pain. So for me, I started drinking alcohol at a young age for two reasons: to have fun, but I was also escaping myself. And then when I got older, I wasn't having fun anymore. I was just escaping. And it was just horrible. And it was just negative, and it just held me down. And it was counterintuitive to who I wanted to be, which is why I felt stuck. Now, not all men, but the men that I talk to, that's where they're at. They want to be more. They just don't know how to get past that next stage. They've got so much information about what to do, but it's not transpiring. They're not doing it. And then they just get fed up, and then they finally surrender. That's a big one. They surrender and they get the right help. Yeah.
It's something I seen a while ago, Greg, that you mentioned, was that a lot of the wives are actually recommending that they come and see you. So you're getting a lot of referrals from the wives, which is very interesting.
So it's, I did a video on that. They indirectly refer me. So I don't get wives reaching out saying you need to talk to my husband, but I get a husband might watch some of my content. The wife might see some of my content. The husband has got these fixed mindsets that he is just too much fear of reaching out to me and taking that first step. And the wife is just like, this is exactly what you need, and just goes, do it, do it, do it. And the wife pushes them to do it. And then when they do it, they get the change, and then they're just so much better for it. So indirectly, the wife is the one that helps a lot of these men pull the trigger to start the conversation.
Dude, I love that, man.
Because they see the worst of them, right? Like in the business world, we see the best of them because men wear these masks. But behind closed doors, like me, Tracy used to see the worst of me, and she was going to leave me. And that was part of my breakdown.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Dude, what are 3 tips you would give the audience, or if there's men watching this now, to get results in the next 7 days? How can they take that first step?
Go and download an app called One Giant Mind and start the 12-day Learn to Meditate. If you are not using some sort of mind, like meditation or mindfulness practice or breathing, or if you're not using something on a daily basis to slow that brain down and to give yourself some quiet time in here, That's one of the main reasons. We live in a world now where people are just too over energy in their mind.
Yeah.
And it's out of control. And it creates these negative narratives. And then, yeah. So One Giant Mind is the app that I recommend to everybody. I think it is the best app to learn how to meditate for people who have got busy minds.
Yep.
The second one would be stop putting so much expectation on yourself when it comes to your physical health. If you're not doing anything, just start walking. Don't go to the gym or start CrossFit or do any of that stupid shit, because it's all a punishment. You're doing it from a place of guilt. Just walk. Just go for a half an hour walk every morning, and don't take your phone or your headphones. Get into nature. And that would be the third one. Get into nature. We are energetic beings, and Mother Earth has got the most beautiful energy. And if you can just go and walk on a rugby field or the local park in your bare feet and ground yourself and just be in nature, I can guarantee you feel better. 100%. You'll always feel better.
Dude, I love that, man.
And that's kind of three that gives you some mind, body, and soul, mind, body, spirit. And you can habit stack them.
Yeah.
You can literally do all three of them in half an hour every morning. Booyah.
Boom. Dude, I love that. There's just something about when you walk on the grass or without your shoes on and you're grounded and you're just walking, you don't have your phone or anything, and you're just taking in nature. And like you said, dude, like it gives you time to just slow down, get in touch, and like, dude, it's a game changer, man.
Yeah, that's awesome. And it's the way it's meant to be. Humans weren't invented to put rubber on their feet all day long.
No. Dude, it's the simple things in life, man. The simple things in life.
It certainly is.
Yeah.
Yeah, 100%.
And I think that's part of having, creating a great life, is just really falling in love with those simple things. Just like drinking water, dude. Going out for a walk, quieten your mind. Yeah, love it, man.
Yeah.
Tell us about your famous guide.
My famous guide?
Yeah.
My 7 Deadly Habits of an Entrepreneur.
Yes.
So it literally is me writing down the way I used to behave from a habitual practice, and then giving a positive alternative to each of those bad 7 habits that a lot of people who are entrepreneurial, who are busy, who are driven, we get into we start doing it thinking that it's not that bad. But when you do these bad habits over and over and over and over, it slowly breaks us down.
Yeah.
So it's really just identifying, and it's not just bullet point, here's the habit. It's kind of each habit stacking on top of each other from a negative perspective, taking somebody through a journey of their day.
Yeah.
And it starts with wake and bake, which is wake and fry yourself with your phone, and then load up with caffeine on an empty stomach and fire up those stress responses and bad tummy, and it just builds on from there. And so many of my clients just read it and just go, oh shit, that's me. And I go, so do the alternative to all of those. And again, what you said, it's the small things.
Yeah.
It's like, don't have to not drink coffee, but why don't you hydrate and put something nice in your stomach first before you have your coffee? You know what I mean? It's not big changes, but it makes a big difference.
The wake and bake, that's interesting.
Yeah. I've had a few people crack up just going, oh, I was about to find out what wake and bake meant, because that's got a different connotation.
Dude, that is hilarious, brother.
So it's wake and bake your brain. So many people wake up and the first thing they do is just fire up those stress responses by checking email, social media.
Yeah.
And it's a really, really bad habit. So,
dude, let's just take a step back and have a look at the last year, the pandemic.
Mm-hmm.
How do you think that has impacted a lot of men?
I think it's twofold. I think there's been a really, really big negative and there's been a really, really big positive. So I'll start with the positive first, because I do believe that there has been a lot of positive, that men have been pushed back home and they've been forced to have a bit of downtime to look at themselves and to actually go through that prioritization and to have more time at home with family and all that sort of stuff. And people, men, not just men, are starting to look at their life differently and what's important. And they've seen how busy they've been.
Yeah.
And when the country shuts down and they can't be as busy, they might still be working from home, but they're not crazy busy and away from home all the time. I think a lot of people have really reprioritized their life, and in Australia it's showing, because people have just upped out of cities and moved to the country or moved up the coast and just go, nah, I'm done. We're going bush, or we're going coast, because my priorities have changed, which is really important. And their priorities have changed more towards lifestyle and family. Yeah. Now, on the negative side of things, people who are getting caught up in the hysteria and the negativity and the social anxiety, their mental health has gotten worse.
Yeah.
And I've seen so many people deteriorate through this process. And it's not that it was the pandemic that caused it. It's the pandemic that highlighted what they've had for years and years and years and years and years. And this was kind of me, right? It was just avoid until my breakdown year just highlighted 20 years of stuff that I avoided. So I'm seeing men that are making big change, and I'm seeing men that are going downhill really fast, but it's got nothing to do with the pandemic. It's just highlighting where they're at.
Yeah. Interesting. It's kind of like, what you focus on grows as well.
100%. Yeah. And that's why Tracy and I have gone strength to strength through the pandemic, is because we didn't get caught up in it and we weren't triggered, and we've done all that healing. That there is a lot of beautiful change that is happening in the world. There is a lot of new energy and spiritual, if you're into spirituality, there's a lot of spiritual guidance that's coming into earth at the moment, and a lot of people are evolving, are being forced to evolve. But on the flip side, a lot of people are de-evolving. But we all have a choice. We all have a choice.
Greg, what do you want the listeners to take away from today?
That your egoic mind is probably telling you a lot of lies. And it's really important to take a massive step back and start becoming really open-minded to the stuff that your logical brain cannot make sense of. And what do I mean by that? A lot of people, when they come and work with us and they start to understand the work that Tracy does and how she works in their energy, and she can do it through surrogacy and a distance and all that sort of stuff, the logical analytical mind is just like, that's bullshit. And then when they experience it, they have a complete paradigm shift. Now, I'm not talking about needing to work with us, but I'm talking about being so open to the unknown and to start exploring themselves at a whole different level. Start meditating. Start looking into and understanding that everything is energy.
Yeah.
And that if you raise your energetic vibration, you will naturally attract more beautiful things that you want and care and love about into your life. But if you have a low energetic vibration, you're just going to keep on attracting shit. And that's pretty much like when I started getting into this, boom, it was just like my worldview and paradigm shifts were astronomical. And it was just like, oh my God, why didn't somebody tell me this 20 years ago? Funny thing is, 20 years ago, I wouldn't have listened.
There you go. Dude, that's crazy.
So just be open-minded to the unknown.
Yeah. And where can people find you, Greg?
LinkedIn is my #1 social platform where I share most of my content. And then they can Google me, Greg Gillies. They can go to my website, greggillies.com, and we are just in the final tweaks of launching a rebranding on our signature program, which is called the Evolved CEO. So if they go to the evolvedceo.com, what we've actually done this time is created a whole page full of videos to explain exactly who we are, what we do, how it works, and all of the woo-woo and weird stuff, so that people can really take time in their own time to get their head around this type of work. And if they do nothing apart from just open their mind and start researching and looking into other areas of their health and well-being, then happy days.
Dude, Greg Gillies, mate, super grateful to have you here today, man. And
appreciate it.
I'll be honest, when I think when we first started kind of working together, and I first like looked at you, I was like, this dude's like a superstar. It's like, dude, you just, your branding and your energy was just like the next level. And just working with you now and just being part of the community and watching your content, you know, and just yeah, man, just being part of this journey with you and Tracy has been like epic, and always learning. As I've just written down, one giant mind, I'm going to download it myself, and it's definitely going to get out more with the no shoes and get the feet out, even if it's frosty on the old grass.
Well, then you can do some Wim Hof breathing at the same time. Cold exposure.
Yeah, little tooties will be red. But dude, I
appreciate you, man. You've been really supportive for us as well, so really, really appreciate you.
Thank you, brother. And as a result of this webinar, what actions are you going to take? Are you going to get out in Mother Nature, maybe get some fresh air, get some grass on your feet, and just take some time to, you know, unwind and slow the body, slow the mind down? Adrian's closing thoughts: by transforming my inner world, I would transform my outer world by creating success, love, and happiness. By Greg Gillies. Absolutely beautiful, dude. And it's so true. When you start to focus on your inner self, then everything starts to, like you said, man, it starts to transfer into everything that you do.
100%.
Acknowledgements and thanks. Thank you for our contributors, especially this man here down the bottom right corner, Mr. Greg. Thank you, dude. Absolutely love your work. Love to invite you to a one-time strategy session as well. Help you become the fittest, strongest, and healthiest version of yourself. Send me a message on LinkedIn and book now. I'll happily give you at least 3 recommendations so you can get some results in advance, and we can talk about how we can work together. Special invite 1. Love to invite you to our international fitness community of other like-minded, awesome humans like Greg Gillies. Learn my secrets to transform your body, health, and mindset at any age. I've got the link there, or you can send me a message on LinkedIn. Special invite 2, the Leeway Business Influencer Suite. If you want to take your business and go to the next level on LinkedIn, build your brand and become internationally renowned, hit me up, send me a message if you'd like to learn more. There's some of our awesome members and community. And special invite 3, if you would like some support with your virtual assistant outsourcing, hit me up, send me a message on LinkedIn, and I'll make Greg here. He can vouch for it as well. And yeah, start actually taking some of that time back so you can do whatever you want, spend time with your family, or just walk down the beach like Greg does.
Definitely.
Take action now, my friend. And I would love to invite you to our next live webinar. Now, this is going to be confirmed, but talking bedtime routines for families that help children sleep better. Absolute game changer for our little Charlie, and I'm super excited for that one. Greg Gillies, any final thoughts, my man?
I love your work.
Dude, you are crazy.
It's been epic. I appreciate it. Always love the opportunity to just share a bit of our story and what we're doing. And yeah, we're very much on the same page around helping people. So it's been a pleasure.
Greg Gillies, love your work, dude. Double fist bump. Boom.
Boom, boom.
Thanks,
Cheers,
brother.
brother.